Hello, everyone. Courtney here. Today, I'm excited to be able to talk about one of my absolute favorite topics. In fact, I wrote a paper about it in my senior year of high school. When I came to my English teacher to ask if I could write about this intense topic, she was worried that I wouldn't have enough material I could find to write about it. I assured her that there is a lot of information out there on the topic, and though she was a bit concerned, she allowed me to do it. And that topic was mediocrity. The paper was titled, "Why Do People Sit in Their Own Mediocrity?" I use the term sitting in mediocrity often and feel that we as humans get into a homeostasis of going about life with a normal 9 to 5, being a non player character in our own life, not even considering to ask ourselves if we could do anything with our time, what would we be doing? Use this episode as a wake-up call to stop sitting in mediocrity and comfort. Let's make it happen. Welcome to episode number 17. Let's get into it.
Where inventing, passion, and hard work intersect. Welcome to the Serial Inventing Podcast. Bite-sized, perspective-altering episodes on serial inventing and beyond. From motivating key tips on product licensing to obstacle-busting conversations on transitioning to a full-time serial product developer. Buckle your seatbelt, because you're in for a ride. Warning, this podcast may motivate you to make wild decisions that will propel you forward in your inventing career and hijack more of your time for your passion. If you aren't ready to make it happen, then this podcast isn't for you.
When you think of some of the greats we look up to, you hear powerful grit stories about them not giving up and succeeding. Michael Jordan said that I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. J.K. Rowling got rejected 12 times and was told to not quit her day job. Henry Ford and Walt Disney went bankrupt multiple times before they succeeded. So why doesn't everyone persist like this? Speaker and strategist Scott Williams has an excellent quote about mediocrity, and it goes like this: "If better is within your reach, and you choose to settle for less, you are settling for mediocrity." People settle in their lives and become comfortable in their own mediocrity. Sometimes this is due to a fear of failure. The educational system has taught us not to fail and not to correct our own mistakes. How many tests were you allowed to retake in your schooling? Could you count them on one hand? How many tests do you think you have taken? Whatever you got wrong is what you live with. And that's not a great mindset to have for the rest of your life, especially when it is inaccurate to the real world. Many are also scared, shy, or just not bold enough to stand up and take advantage of their life. Because if we fail, we are frowned upon by society. And failing often and fast is still not mainstream enough to be looked at positively, even though it's the quickest way to succeed. Settling is the status quo. Doing, pushing past, correcting and adjusting, making it happen. That should be the attitude of the status quo. We have created a world of mediocrity around us, and those who refuse to conform to it are looked at with admiration. Tim Ferriss, Seth Godin, Stephen Key, Tony Robbins. People often play it safe and only do the things that are easy. Doing things that can be challenging at first becomes a learning experience and creates a bigger feeling of accomplishment at the end. If people feel empowered after a hard task is completed, then why isn't everyone taking risks? Sometimes we feel judged, give others the power to influence our decisions, or we lack discipline or place too much focus on the end goal over the process. We lack belief, lack a path, choose to settle for short term rewards, refuse to pivot and adjust, get bored during the process, or even simply suffer from an overwhelming feeling of it being too hard. You are not alone. This is life. And that is a long list of excuses. Maybe people don't enjoy learning, especially if they went through high school and college. Many people want to get away from that experience, not put themselves back in it. When I used to teach at my parents' nonprofit, Learn to Discover, part of the mission was to instill passion in wanting to learn and be curious and learning how to learn. I feel like this is very much lacking in everyday society, a desire for knowledge, to be endlessly curious about the world and life around us. I know I got that from my dad. People who aren't curious tend to have the characteristic of being lazy. Curious people don't wait to find out, they go and figure it out. It may take a lot of trial and error, but they will get there. I guarantee it. You see, I think insanely curious people don't stop until they find the answer. And then after that, they keep going. They get opportunities because they constantly seek them and are open to them. But most importantly, I think they understand that failing is an important part of getting to your destination. Many people see short term goals over long term. And when it comes to licensing, it's all about the long term goals. Just like trying anything new, it's okay to try something and not like it. That's how we find things we are passionate about. But once you lock into something and realize you absolutely love it, it's time to think about long term goals. If you are a serial inventor or a wannabe, I'd seriously consider having that conversation with yourself now. If you are serious about this industry, you need to have this conversation and maybe a few times a month. Do any of these statements resonate with you? If I said you are sitting in mediocrity and you said, "No, I'm not," and asked me why, and I said, "Because you learned what you had to learn in order to pass their tests, and you think that makes you smart. Because you think learning is only meant to be done in schools. Because instead of learning about the world in a classroom, what really matters is learning experientially. Because if you don't sit in mediocrity, you will learn more than any piece of paper you could ever frame from a university. Because smart is not what you learn, it's how you live. Because you commit, get close to breaking through, then run away. Because your dreams scare you. Because you are not ready to be successful. Because you aren't thinking you will be successful. Because you wouldn't bet on yourself. Lily Miola says in her song Daydream that if it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why stay comfortable? Life isn't made to save your dream for sleep. Seth Godin, an entrepreneur, author, and public speaker, speaks with the same theme. If you don't require the journey to be easy or comfortable or safe, you can change the world. In the paper I wrote in high school, I connected mediocrity with the visual of sitting in our lawn chairs on rooftops, watching people live their lives below. Many people are wasting their lives watching other people accomplish their dreams. It's hard when you are surrounded by sitters, when you are a doer. Everywhere you go will remind you of that sitting mentality. But if you actually want to make change, you have to take every single ounce of you to focus on your goals. To create a world where people are empowered to accomplish their dreams or even go after them, we all must persevere through the hard work and fight for our dreams. Because if we don't, then you will keep living your dream in your sleep. Bet on yourself. Thanks for tuning in and taking a few bites with me today. And remember, serial inventors don't make excuses, they make it happen. See you soon.